welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. Okay, we're gonna sign off, you guys.
Nice to
Where
see you,
are you
though.
going? Travels to you.
Well, drive carefully. Drive carefully.
We've been in Detroit. We've been in Detroit and we're driving back to our near India. So
Yeah. And by the way, Betsy, the whole time, whenever we're driving, we're listening to the Beatles station. And they did a really cool thing on George Harrison on the way up.
yeah, that would have been Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
listening. I was listening to it today too. When I was,
Yeah.
out
They
and
they
about.
interviewed Ravi Shankar's daughter. She talked all about Uncle George and how she didn't even realize that Uncle George was a member of the Beatles
Oh,
Like-
really?
until she was like 18 years old or something. So,
She's pretty good.
okay.
Suze, this is a lot better than our last conversation with you in the car wash.
They called me and I was in the car. I was in the car wash.
Okay, you guys have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
And we'll see you
Careful.
next time.
Good to see you all. Bye.
Okay, go Toledo Rockets.
Yes, go Rockets.
They just got an interception.
You have it on the TV?
Yeah.
Because we can't get it.
Oh, yeah. It's on Peacock.
I know, well, we can't, we tried to sign up for Peacock today and it didn't go through. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah,
I
I'm
think he's
watching.
watching it on this computer, but I don't know how he got it.
Yeah, you get on, yeah, you get it streaming.
Right, but we can't figure out how to
Oh, okay.
Everything's becoming streaming now.
I know,
Yeah.
and
Well, the rest of the games this year are on NBC also.
right. So he had signed up for Peacock this morning and I tried to put it on our TV and it wouldn't do anything. So,
They probably have
Oh.
over.
Watch it on a computer.
well, that's what he's doing. He's watching.
Good.
it.
Good.
So Susie, did you say that Ohio State is losing?
Yes, they were.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it too loud because Max is watching it from the beginning in the other room. So,
Yes, Oregon was beating Ohio State. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beating them pretty soundly a while ago.
We're surrounded by a lot of Ohio State people here.
Well,
And they're obnoxious.
Max is not
Yeah.
Ohio.
yeah, they are
Max
pretty
is
obnoxious.
Ohio State. He
Yeah, I'm
likes any-
surrounded by Oregon people.
Oh,
He
is
is
Max
surprised.
Ohio State?
Ohio State.
And Washington people and Washington State people.
Oh,
Yeah. We got some relatives that are Washington
oh,
State.
the-
Yeah.
It's hard to compete with that Nike money.
A lot of it.
Hey, did I hear Bobby?
Yeah, here, Bob. Don't see him.
28-21 right now.
So Bob, you're in Toledo?
You right
No
now?
video,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
I can't get to my shared screen. Are you guys on the shared screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To you, Bobby.
I
I
don't
don't know what
know.
happened here. Hang on.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. You got your camera off, sir, maybe.
Alternate? Huh. I don't know.
Gallery view there.
That do that.
There's a thing at the bottom where it says stop video. I think you got to stop video.
Uh-oh.
Stop video or start it?
You want to start it, but
I don't want to start it. Stop it. Okay.
Oh, you want to
come on, Bob.
you want to start it, Bob?
Darn it.
Techno idiot, TK, you know that.
There you are. We got
There
you,
you
Bob.
There you go.
We
Yeah,
got your
see
eye.
your hat.
All right.
Hat.
We can, yeah,
A
we
little
can
low,
see your,
but a little high.
Good.
bring it down just a bit. We can see your eyes and your hat.
Yeah, most of
Here we
your
go. Change my view. Let's see.
We don't see your goatee.
No.
I got my gallery back. Thank you.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Good to
There
see
you
you.
Hey, Carol.
Carol,
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Hey.
Am I turned up? I am.
I don't see Carol.
Oh,
Oh,
there
yeah,
she
I see
is.
Carol. Yeah.
Oh, over here.
How are you, Carol?
Good days and bad days, you know.
Have you heard any more about a date for you?
No.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what's going on. What's going on, Carol?
I got a lot for you today.
I'm supposed to have some.
Open them for me.
Okay. I can't hear. Can't hear you,
Can't hear.
Carol.
Hey, your voice has changed.
There's a little talk somewhere.
That's about the way I feel.
Aw,
I was supposed to have colon surgery to remove part of my colon
I'm
on,
gonna turn my microphone off a little bit.
I've had diverticulitis for about 15 years, and it's finally gotten to a point where it can't be controlled with antibiotics anymore. So
mhm.
surgery is the only option, and it got scheduled or canceled because of COVID or postponed.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Mhm.
It's
You know,
so-
Carol, I was just diagnosed with that. I have been sick, as you know, a couple times, really sick. And they finally did a scan with contrast, and that's what they found.
Mhm.
Boy, can you be sick with it? I mean,
Yep.
unbelievable.
It's
Yes, you
terrible.
can. Yep.
Yeah.
I have it as well.
And you,
Oh, God.
oh,
Yeah,
Well,
I went,
not,
No, I waited too long for surgery, I guess. You know, I could have had it a couple years ago and maybe should have gone ahead, but I didn't. So, because it was always controlled with antibiotics, but it's not anymore. So,
Oh,
I'm on antibiotics every day.
every day. Oh, gosh.
So will they be able to reattach everything and so forth after they've done this?
Yeah. They're
Katie,
thinking-
Katie already had that surgery.
yes.
so did Tom. Tom had that surgery too.
But mine was, again, waited too long, had an attack, about bled to death twice. It was emergency surgery. And then I was in intensive care for 5 days, even though I felt all right.
Oh,
Started bleeding rectally, and pretty soon you're in deep trouble. We only lived 1.5 miles from a ER, Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, so. Yeah,
And do you watch your diet and all of that? You've been following the diet that they tell you?
Right, which they don't really tell you a lot, but they
No.
they tell you a little bit.
you mean now or previously?
Well, previously and now.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to it now, but not after having about 15 inches where most of the problem occurred. So,
Taken out.
yeah, removed. But
Excuse me.
Like a big guy.
That's
Sharon,
well, Sharon Van
that's
Boy.
the outside. Oh, it's beautiful.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi there. This is a proof of life show up. I haven't been joining for a while.
Mhm. Good. Glad to see you.
yes,
We are
we're
glad to see you. Very glad to see you. Yeah.
very glad.
Sharon, is that a live shot?
Oh, no.
I
wish
thought-
it were.
I thought you were really outside.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is
Montana,
beautiful.
southwestern Montana.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm,
Oh,
Nice.
big sky.
Beautiful.
So Jim, what's the wildfire situation up there? Is all that taken care of now?
We, well, when we left on Monday, we went over to the Olympic Peninsula to Port Angeles. And so we came back. Monday, they had a huge fire camp as you exited town. And then when we came back, it started raining over Washington Pass. And we came down through Washington Pass and looked over, and you could smell the smoldering wood
Hmm.
of fires. And then we got as far as the fire camp, and it was totally gone. Fire camp's gone. All the
Wow.
signs are gone. And I think they consider it completely stopped.
Oh,
Good.
thank goodness.
4 days, 4 days.
Wow.
The rain that did it.
Yeah,
that's
we haven't
good.
had a drop here. We're 3 months without rain at this point in time.
Oh, wow.
Terrible, but maybe later this week, I think, finally.
Sharon,
What
where
do
are
you have?
Where are you?
We're in the Seattle area, but west of Seattle, in the Kitsap Peninsula, and the rain that has come in has either gone north of us or south of us, or hasn't hit us at all.
Because I thought it rained there almost every day. Does it
We have
usually
a big
rain?
drought every summer, and
Oh,
this has been a profound drought this summer. We've had bouts of, in the last week, it's misted a couple of times, lasted a minute. It's pretty exciting. But the weather patterns are changing, and during the winter time, winter being October through May, it rains a lot. Comes in off the ocean, but not in the summertime.
Yeah, we were at Deception Pass a couple of weeks ago, and then we just got back from, like I said, the Olympic Peninsula, Port Angeles. And going across Whitby, they have water shortage. I mean, they're monitoring their water.
Wow.
They had a sign that says, "Here's the water situation today."
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Well, like where we are, we're a peninsula. We don't have any mountains or rivers or anything. The only water that we have is groundwater that's come from the rain. We have a 250,000 people living on this peninsula. So,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
and it's growing like crazy because it's spilling over from Seattle. We have a lot of rural area, but not much longer. It's getting built up. So the question is, where's the water going to come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
there,
well,
a-
that's the news from Western Washington.
Okay.
Eastern Washington too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Southern Washington is just about the same.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Hey, guys, I was looking for something to watch on TV the other day, and I ran across a show called Cheap Old Houses. And
Are there any?
there was one episode that was in Indiana. So I recorded it and watched it later, and 2 of the houses were in Richmond.
say,
What?
And
Are you kidding me? I didn't.
And I don't know when it was recorded. It was in the winter time. I could tell that. But one of the houses was for $32,000.
yeah.
It was a brick house, a red brick house, 2-story, and it was Victorian.
Mhm.
And then the other house was a gray house, and it was Victorian, and the inside was gorgeous.
I bet.
$90,000.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know
And
where
I
that might be,
tell-
Vicki?
Pardon me?
I'm not-
Yeah,
my
I just
Maine? Maine?
HGTV.
I just recently got on that channel after that because they showed them in the newspaper and so forth. And they're all down kind of towards the Depot district. And the houses that are bargains, and they can fix them up and so forth, but get them for a bargain. And I don't know when it was recorded either. It was whatever they did, it was very quiet. We knew nothing about it while it was going on.
Okay.
Well, the 32,000, I don't think I would partake in. The 90,000 was maybe questionable. You might want to do it and get it fixed up, but it had a lot of stained glass. And there was one window that they showed it from outside and inside, but it was an oval stained glass, and it had on the inside shutters that covered it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, Richmond, I know that town.
Yeah.
And then they,
Well, I didn't know anything about it, but we don't take the paper. We don't take Richmond paper. So
Reed Memorial Church that has the Tiffany glass windows. The Methodists don't belong, they don't belong, they had to sacrifice it. So it's been sitting there and they found out it was actually owned by the family members. But they're in the process of selling it to a historical society.
Oh.
And they're going to make their offices in it. So it's going to be saved. But we've got lots of things like that. But we were really afraid they were just going to take the Tiffany windows out and sell them. But now it's going to be saved because the Historical Society. Also, if you ever watch HGTV, The Good Bones that is out of there, out there is as a mother and daughter out of Indianapolis.
yes.
And they were actually here. They've been supporting the Richmond Art Museum and coming to some of our events. And so I actually know those two, but it's very interesting. It's called Good Bones and it's on HGTV and it's near down, what do they call that? The Circle downtown is where they're renovating a lot of those older houses.
It's Fletcher, it's well,
I
Fletcher.
know Fountain. It's not Fountain.
Right.
It's Fountain Square, thank you.
Fountain
Square.
Square.
But they live 2 blocks from my son, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's Fountain Square, Fletcher Place area.
Right.
Just
That's
south,
nice. It's interesting.
yeah. They've remodeled a lot of them, redone a lot of them there.
Vicky, I don't know, some of you guys may recognize the name Nottingham.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Nottingham from Fred First.
Yes.
His son, Mark, Vicky was on a state championship team right around your boys, I think, in golf.
Yeah, I remember.
Mark is in the real estate business in Indianapolis. He's got a company called Platt Realty in Indy. And he's doing very, very well in restoring and selling houses. And he's got price ranges from 50,000 to $1.5 million or 2 million or 2.5 million, whatever. But my grandson, Jackson, Roy's boy, just went to work for him. And they're doing a lot of those homes that you're talking about in Fountain Square.
Good.
They're doing some property up around 10th Street where the LaRue Carter Hospital used to be. They've got a big development going in up there. Very successful. Over 40 million in sales last year.
Wow.
Nottingham.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just saw,
20 agents, I think. Yeah.
I just saw a for sale sign that had that name on it. Actually, I wondered who it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I just saw
Well,
that.
that's who they are. But
Well, and then where the
Yes,
old Wells
Mark
Pontiac is,
Nottingham, yeah.
there's one of the Nottinghams, and I know there were several in that family, that has brought a kind of a used car dealership back there where Wells Pontiac used to be.
that is the dad. That's actually.
Is it still Fred?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, and then Josh, the other one, Vicky, that used to be with New Life or Young Life up in Michigan, is back with his brother now over in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Josh gave up the ministry and went to work in the real estate business over in Indy. A great family, great people.
Yeah.
Oh, all realtors are underneath really ministers.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family is in real estate.
Got a
Daughter,
like your bunch here, Kristen.
daughters, moms, others.
Yeah.
Are these new places in Indianapolis? Where are we talking about?
No, it's
They're
old.
old homes in very bad shape that they're practically gutting and starting over.
But where?
In an
It's
area, certain area though, isn't it?
It's
Well,
got-
there are certain areas, but Fountain Square is just south of downtown.
What city?
Yeah, south and a little bit east.
Indianapolis,
Yeah.
Oh,
Indianapolis.
that's what.
Yeah.
Because there's Fountain Square in Cincinnati.
Oh, no, this,
Yeah, there's also one in Cincinnati, but Fountain Square in Indy is, isn't that an old German neighborhood?
It's really Italian. It's really Italian.
Oh, is it really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they do. They have bocce ball courts and
Yeah.
a big Italian festival there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
more
neat.
And
What is
artists,
that?
a lot of
What
artists.
is that Voice in the background, voices. Are there voices in the background that I keep hearing?
Yes, I hear them too, but I have
Bob, you
no
got a
idea.
game on?
Can they turn them
No,
off?
I got a game on.
Of course you do. Put it on
Game
purple.
off.
Did you
Turn
mute
off
it,
the
Jimmy?
sound.
Put
I'm
close.
down to 0 on my sound, guys, so I'm not, it's not me.
Yeah, well, it's me.
I don't know.
Harvey, is that Harvey?
Harvey.
Give us an
Harvey.
update on the
Harvey
score.
watching.
I've got it on silent too.
There you
Well,
go.
Well, update
Okay,
on the
silence
score.
mine.
Somebody doesn't have it on silent.
Turn it down, guys. All the women are gonna. beat you.
Oh, no, other
If
section.
it's the right game, we want to hear the score.
Oh, okay.
35-21 Oregon.
35,
Whoa.
21 Oregon right now.
Oh,
Just scored again.
Just-
oh,
Good
Oregon,
job.
oh, Ohio State.
Ohio State's getting beat up by
Okay.
Oregon, yes.
Yeah, I had an Ohio State buddy on Facebook a while ago, couldn't understand the speed. I said, hey, that's where the headquarters of Nike is, so they're gonna have speed out there, I promise you,
Yeah.
and plenty of cash.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plenty of cash. But yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
You sports guys, did you read the article about the mortgage broker in Michigan, in East Lansing, Michigan,
No.
who's paying the athletic department, basketball and football players $500 a month, 12 months a year, to be representing Michigan State?
No.
130 players,
Yeah.
130 players, 9.5 million a year. These guys paying the University of Michigan State athletes to play.
I want to go back. I want to go back. Bob.
Unbelievable, Tom.
Born too soon.
Hey, TK, when I was at IU, our laundry income was $15 a month.
That's right. 15.
That was big money. Yeah.
Hey,
$9.5
IU
million a year
people,
to Basketball and football. And that's just. the
all you
beginning.
IU people, I was in Bloomington last weekend. And I
Wow.
was telling Carol Mann that we need to go back and spend a weekend in the, the hotel at the.
In Memorial Union, yeah.
Memorial
Yes,
Union.
right. I said we need to, because I hadn't been back in like 50 years. We drove around. My grandson had a baseball game at the IU Stadium. So my daughter-in-law and I drove around and in the rain. It wasn't,
I think you have to book far in advance. So that's what my sister and her husband say. To stay in the places where they used to stay anyway. Is
yeah.
anybody true, Bob?
Diane, if you're ever in Bloomington again, my daughter Kelly's office for the IU varsity club is right at the end of the football stadium, looking out on the football field.
Yeah.
She's the associate athletic director down there, and that's where she's at. And
Is that right?
on the topic of IU football, guys,
Yeah.
my grandson, James Bamba, who some of you followed for a little
Yeah,
while, is back at IU, TK, and tonight he will be running into the stadium in uniform in number 48, which was a good friend of mine, Terry Cole's number when he was in college, and was given to James because of our friendship going back for generations. And he will be the fourth person in his family, his father and both of his grandfathers who've been on the field for IU playing football.
What's his last name, Bob?
Bamba, number 48, James Bamba, Bomba. His dad was a team doctor for Bob Knight and IU athletics when I was in college.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
And he was the guy, the big blonde haired guy that sat next to Bob Knight that nobody could ever figure out who he was. But every time Bob Knight got in trouble, Brad was the guy that grabbed him and pulled him back. He went to medical school. This great story about Brad Bamba. He went to medical school instead of playing in the NFL.
Wow.
He's a great player from
Probably
Chicago.
smart. Yeah.
Smart move.
Well,
Talking about football, I had breakfast. I always have breakfast down at the Tin Lizzie, which is a breakfast place downtown. I have it every Friday with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And this time, Paul Flatley joined us.
Yeah.
Paul is usually down there when we are, but he's usually at a different table, but his buddies weren't there, so he joined us. And he's starting to get forgetful and just trying to get a banana in a trash bag and almost didn't make it. He's just shaking so badly. I don't know what's wrong.
Stopped out to see me briefly not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago, yeah. Had a
Now
good
something just was not right and he was very shaky, but.
visit. Yeah.
He doesn't have Parkinson's or have no idea.
I have no idea. I wasn't about to ask him. but, you know.
No.
I asked him questions about Sam and so forth. He said that Carl and Barb had not been together in many years. but-
Right.
But Carl lives in Clearwater and Barb lives in Clearwater.
Yeah.
And he's riding his recumbent bike.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
trying to make money.
Carl's riding his bike to Key West, I think, this
Yes.
weekend. isn't he?
Yes.
He is.
Is Aaron
Are they
saying-
divorced?
I don't know. They just said they hadn't been together for many years, but I don't know what that
I
meant.
don't know. I have no
I
idea.
think,
Yeah.
I think they got remarried and they're not
They
divorced.
did
They're not
That's
they
what
together.
did get remarried.
That- That's what I heard. They got divorced, then they got remarried, and then they,
Yeah, and
kind
I
of-
think their lives are separate and everybody's okay with that.
that
Yeah.
at this point,
That's the
I
story that I
probably
hear.
don't want to marry again, so it's like.
Oh,
fine.
daughter, her 20s. Surgery, but.
I know that Carl is coming here in, I believe it's October, because Dwayne has a recumbent bike and they're gonna get together and ride somewhere, I guess.
Several of the neighbors have those. They look like they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're
I've
easy
got
on your
one.
back and things like that. Dwayne loves his.
Yeah, I've got a recumbent.
Are they easy
you?
to balance on
I
when you're
think
Oh,
laying back?
Carl
and still
Sepsis
balance
ride this
really
week is
well?
from Clearwater to Key West, I think, isn't it?
I think so. Mhm.
You guys follow that? I don't know how far that is, but that's a long ride.
It's a long ride.
Yeah.
What was that, Carol?
I wondered if they were easy to balance on because you're laying.
Uh,
back and-
Yeah, I
I,
wondered that.
I
too.
think so.
There's
Dwayne
no
says
balance
It
involved.
doesn't look like you can
I
fall.
ride
Good.
at Earlham. I go to Earlham to their facilities there. So I just stay in one place. But I love I love the bike. It's easy on your back and
Oh,
so it's
Was
great.
was
to
it
ride.
a rear wheel drive?
I have no idea.
That's
Two wheels in the
right.
front, one in the back?
I don't think you can fall off of.
I think just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like a basket, isn't it, Jim, the bike?
I wouldn't call it that, but it's,
Oh,
they call
Yeah,
the
but it's
one,
not
the
slow
one
and
that I
it's-
ride's called a tadpole. And then there's a
Hmm.
You have
delta,
a frame, yeah, you have a frame around you, yeah, I think that's.
a
what it
frame
is.
around you, you got the two front tires, which are not driven, and your drive is in the back.
And Dwayne, he rides maybe 8-10 miles at a time. So,
mhm.
and he says it's very comfortable. And the only thing I worry about, because he rides out places where I would consider not safe. They're
Right.
so low, they're so low
Right.
to the ground that I'm afraid a car will not see him, even though he has a flag and all that.
I
I
understand.
I wonder, Sandy, about semis and stuff like that.
Oh.
They get tangled up in traffic.
Yeah, I don't ride them on the
See how they
street.
could see him.
Yeah, I wouldn't,
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
They're too dangerous on the street, but
right.
they're perfect for a bike path.
yeah.
And
Yes,
mine,
We have really good bike paths. A lot of the old railroad things and down in the gorge,
Mhm.
those are all bike paths. Actually, our downtown, they've just made for bike paths only and people to walk, of course, too. But they've taken over a lot of our streets that were too wide anyway, and that's all got plantings in between, and it's all just for bike paths. Through downtown, going downtown to the Depot District, and it's just kind of neat.
That's really neat.
I know he rides on the
That's
bike paths, but then sometimes he goes to other towns and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Winchester and places like that. I don't know how.
You can bike clear to Muncie and probably
Okay.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. it
yeah,
goes
the
further than that
Cardinal
now.
Trail is a good one.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I never
They
had
just
my,
opened a
I
new,
had my aunt's bike, and a couple years ago, I bought one from Ike's Bikes, the Cruiser. But since I broke my hip, I've been afraid to ride it because I just don't need to be falling anymore.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah. Had like a 3-wheel bike. And
Yeah.
the kids at school, when I retired, some of the one classroom got together and fixed it for me and put it together.
Aw.
And that was hard. That was very sweet of them. But it was hard to ride because if you take a curve or something too quickly, you could easily tip.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Because it was higher. It wasn't the recumbent. So
Oh, it's a
it was sweet of her
three-wheel.
to do that, but-
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
is
think
it?
that's the kind Jane has, Jane Gash.
Yeah,
I think she does too.
Yeah.
She's
those
on her
are
way right
tippy.
now to Vermont to stay with Judy for a while.
Good.
Awesome.
Hey, we beat her to the punch on that.
Yeah,
That-
you did. How was your visit with Judy?
Yeah.
Too short, but it's very different than living in Richmond or Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Very. It's a beautiful area.
Beautiful country.
Judy has a daughter that's probably 40 years old, maybe.
Maybe.
We visited her for drinking some snacks and to see and
Or the daughter.
the dog, yeah, and they
Molly.
have
Molly.
goats.
Molly, yeah.
Yeah, Molly.
Molly. It's Molly, the veterinarian. Molly is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Molly's-
Judy's in the, rural, and Molly's in super rural. Even
There was-
more rural. Trees
Molly.
and nothing around, goats and horses and chickens and just the house in the middle of all this.
But I didn't see it on the way in, but the clincher for me was she had a basketball goal.
Oh, she did, yeah.
He played. He was a point guard on the state-winning championship team for women back in the day, 20 years ago or so.
Wow.
Shocking.
Well, he has her little girl Hazel. I mean, Hazel.
Yeah.
is a sweetheart. So,
Jack, yeah, they're building a little house. I think it's on the only part of their plot there that is flat. It's about the size of this table we're sitting at right now. That's the only flat part of where they live. It's
They put a barn up there so they can move the horses. She sent
yeah.
Her horse over to the pony over to their place. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was lamenting that she didn't come this time. Jane was about to come, I think,
Today.
today maybe. So, yeah. Some beautiful views though. We have a few photos, I think. I'll put them out there.
Not too many. We don't have very many.
Mhm.
We are
Now,
now, we're now at the
Did she get
Jersey
lonely?
Shore, so we've been gone for a few days.
She's not out in the middle of nowhere at all.
Oh,
Judy.
nowhere. Yeah.
Okay, so there are other people.
On the road.
Yeah,
And it,
yeah,
I
that
mean,
road.
and they're all very close. They're very connected. I mean, as far
Yeah,
as
it's like rest. Yeah, everybody.
That's nice.
she's certainly not alone by herself. She's got neighbors closer than we do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, okay.
That was great. Weather was nice, so turned out good. Now, 2 hours south of Betsy's sister, retired physician, and her husband Pete lived in Bennington. You probably heard of Bennington. It always had the distinction of being the most high-priced college or university in America.
Bennington College.
I don't think
And
it
that's
is.
Vermont, huh? Okay.
I've never heard of it.
I had,
Then we came down to Connecticut to visit an Earlham couple, and now we're down classmates. Yeah.
And now we're at the Jersey Shore with my cousin.
Oh,
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's life there.
So
Walk
we're at the-
across the street is the ocean. Yeah.
oh,
Cool.
that's nice.
And next to it, our final stop is Happy Valley, Penn State. Betsy's
Oh,
former
wow.
is
It's a huge Penn
he's
State.
crazy. He's crazier than you are for being a supporter of the
Football, yeah.
local college or university. Yes.
So
I
we've
think-
never,
Be there on a football weekend, TK?
What's that? Say again. Sorry.
Are you guys gonna be there on a football weekend?
no, just tomorrow.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah.
He's invited us many times to go to wherever Penn State plays. We're on the road, but we haven't taken him up. Maybe we should do that because it's fourth quarter, or overtime. It's
That's
late in the
one
game.
trip I've never made. I've always thought that'd be a great place to watch a football game would be, and the whole weekend there'd be great. Yeah.
Are all these travels in
Happy
your
Valley.
past?
Yes. We just go from charger to charger.
Everybody's
Yeah.
vaccinated, and we bought some of those self-tests, so we're self-testing along the way, and yeah,
So far, it's worked.
tired of the pandemic, man. Jeez.
Everybody is.
Yeah, I know.
Tired of it, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we thought we'd do something productive and pleasurable, so it's been
Was
great.
pla- Yeah. So it's, I mean, I get so frustrated about, and I know it's an old topic, but people not getting their vaccinations. It's such I think
Yeah.
about McMahon. Okay, here she can't have a scheduled important surgery because all these unvaccinated people are dying.
Right.
They're in terrible shape, but they didn't get a vaccination. I mean, it's like, it is so, and so there are so many people in Carol's position. They need surgeries.
Right.
And our hospitals are turning them away again, postponing them. I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
shame. And then not all of us, since none of you know all my family, our daughter, and I mean, her children are vaccinated. I mean, that's been no issue at all, Sarah. Jacob, our son, had been vaccinated, but his daughters hadn't been because their mother doesn't. It's a good idea. Now, my youngest granddaughter, so I get to whine to you guys because I don't talk, I don't want to bring it up in the family issues. But our youngest granddaughter is Avery. She's a junior in high school. She's on a high school cheerleading. She's in a professional cheerleading thing too, so she travels all around.
Yeah.
No vaccination.
I'm surprised the school doesn't. make her
And
have-
doesn't wear a mask. And
Oh.
the one school in our area, see, we're in Springboro, which is not Montgomery County where Dayton is. It's the next thing on down towards Cincinnati. Well, our Springboro High School, you don't have to wear a mask.
Oh, man.
You don't have to show if you've been vaccinated. Now, all the other Montgomery County things
There's a
are
lot of them like that.
more strict about that, but not where my Avery goes. Now, June did get the older one at Miami second year. She did get hers. They start checking them every 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, you have to have something. And so, she got hers. But it's a very frustrating thing. And both my daughter-in-law, Tori, and I had the same cleaning lady who just died of COVID.
Oh, my word.
Oh, so, yes, so
Hey,
it was
Christine.
on my birthday, August 16th, was the last day that she was here. Fine, she's 53. Just goes like a very, and I got her name 4 years ago from Tori, who's had her for 15 years. And she and her partner had about 4 houses, always on Monday. We were the last one. She didn't feel good then. She told me she had a little migraine. She no appointments the next day. She came on Tuesday, in the hospital on Wednesday, died the following Monday.
Oh my
I mean,
Oh, wow. That's
the day I saw,
that's
and I was the last person that saw her.
Christie, there's 1,000 locations in Indiana where you can get vaccinated without an appointment.
Oh, I know.
Well,
There's-
all I-
all over.
Help
That's
if
all
you-
over.
They're telling you not to do it, and you're believing your mother when you're only 16 and going on because the mother and another friend of her, a bunch of them, are into saying they're not safe. The vaccine isn't safe. There's a problem with it.
and COVID is not safe either.
It kills. I mean,
Doesn't care who you are either.
no, it doesn't.
That's exactly
It's very-
right.
It's a very
Christie,
frustrating situation right now, and one I do keep quiet about because it's, you know, I'm not gonna have a separation about that, and it would
Yeah.
not help, like they just little comments.
Right.
That's not gonna help, but Max and I are so concerned about how quick this.
My grandson Henry just turned 12, and the very first thing he did is he wanted to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, that's the way
Yeah.
our other grandchildren are in Cincinnati, but I'm just
I'm
had to.
amazed how many people in the
Does
medical
you guys-
profession refuse to get the shot. I'm amazed
yeah.
at that.
Well, I
Wow.
worked in Memorial Hospital for 29 years. You wouldn't believe how many of the, I mean, that's not unusual. The respiratory therapists that I did counseling with a lot, 'cause that's what I did there.
Yeah.
I mean, heavy smokers, respiratory
Yes.
therapists.
Geez.
They were,
Yeah.
There are people here, honest to goodness, guys, who are gonna lose their job October 1st because they're not gonna get vaccinated, which is a requirement of our healthcare company.
exactly.
And
But
they're
we
gonna
all
be
had
out,
to
they're
have
gonna be
shots
unemployed.
before. I mean, we had to have
Giving
shots
up
to get into
years
school.
in the profession,
course
just,
we
just over a vaccine.
We had to
Yep.
have all those shots when we were kids. Didn't
That's
think of-
right.
Yes.
We were
That's
grateful. Our
No
parents
longer have polio or any of that stuff. so we
Exactly.
got
Our
Vaccinated.
parents were so grateful they had polio vaccines back then because of all the issues before. And now make this kind of a thing be this angry, you know, they can't make us have a vaccine. I'm thinking, well, then just stay home. Educate your child at home. That's fine. Don't go in the grocery stores. I mean, you know,
Go anywhere.
Don't go
yeah,
shopping.
just have your stuff ordered. You can do that and go pick it up. Or at least we're
Selfish, be reckless. Yeah. Yeah. I won't say anything more because it'll be profane. So
well, it's just, I mean, I think it's up to individuals as long as they're not around another individual. But if they are, that's a totally different issue that
Yeah.
is affecting them greatly. And I think, I feel so bad for Carol because
Yeah.
someone I
Can't have
know
the surgery.
had surgery delayed
Yeah.
because of that. And
I love the argument that the government can't tell you what to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love that argument. Yeah,
I don't know. I have to pay taxes every year, so.
yeah.
Hey, what about
We all
taxes?
do.
IRS periodically tells me what to do.
Yeah, I had to go into the service.
Social Security will tell you
So
what to
does
do.
that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Now,
know.
did
if
you
any of
hear
know,
that
but
if
Kate-
you have had COVID, that you have immunity and the
No, it only lasts for a little while.
Yeah.
It's a
The
minimal amount
antibodies-
of
the
time.
antibiotics may be good, the antibodies, Diane, may be good for 4 to 6 months. That's about what I hear. I think.
This,
Is that
the
true?
same as all of us are going to need a booster, you know, even the
Which is
shot.
I had my booster.
Did you?
Good
Had your
Yes.
booster? Wow.
I didn't think we could do that till September 20th.
Well, I went into the
places are
doctor
gonna-
and he says, you want your booster? It's been long enough since you had your second shot.
Well, good for
Wow.
you.
So I took it.
Did he
Oh
give
my
it to
God.
you?
When
Did you
was-
get it?
Hey, when was your second shot?
It's 1st of February.
yeah.
Because I didn't have my first regular shot till February 14th, and then it was a month later, March 14th. So I had to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, my second was in February.
Most of us
And
would
my
probably.
thing is,
February too.
I
My
felt lousy on
Moderna
this
will be
one.
on September 20th.
Right.
Will be my booster with Moderna.
Good, yeah, good, right.
And it's
So how many months between your second shot and the booster?
I think it's 8.
Eight
Eight.
months.
8 months.
But I heard as well, so.
I'm gonna be 8 months.
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah, it'll be 8 months or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be
Just
8
fine.
months.
But
And
anyway,
also,
Flu shot or any of you getting flu shots?
Jamie have both had.
I think we'll get ours next week. It's September, and we've always go down to Walgreens and get it in
Yeah, I
September.
got too.
The flu shot, I mean, done that every year in September, so
Mhm.
it's time. It's,
Well, they said you could get your flu shot and your COVID shot at the same time.
The same
However,
time.
if
I
you're-
think that-
yes, now, I don't think I will do that though.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna.
I think I'll wait
I'm
too.
gonna wait.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think
You
so.
don't get the stronger flu shot anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I do too.
I do, yeah.
yeah. you
But I
too.
usually don't get mine till October.
Yeah, we do.
the end of
September.
October.
So-
At least this time, I think when we get the booster here, it's gonna be more of a walk-in thing. You don't have to go through all these phone numbers, get online and so forth and make an appointment.
But it's like, whatever, we'll get it done.
Becky,
So-
Becky, did you have any side effects with your? booster?
Oh, yes. This one was rough.
Really?
It was worse. That day, I had my shot in the morning. That day, I just felt yucky. And I didn't sleep that night. And then the next day, I slept all day.
Wow.
And
This is the booster?
with the
Yeah.
booster.
Well, all the booster is the same shot again.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I evidently, it took to me a little bit more. And then I have felt great ever since. I've even got more energy than I had before. So
Well,
Good girl.
I can get off my tush and get some things done. So
There you go.
There you go. Good, good.
Yeah.
Feel
Okay, I'm
protected.
sorry to interrupt, but I need to go. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Take care, Nancy.
I'm leaving on a trip
Okay.
tomorrow and I gotta finish packing.
Where are you going, Nancy?
Hey, see
I'm
you
going to
next-
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful, wonderful.
for 8 days.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Have a wonderful time.
I will.
Enjoy,
And I just
enjoy.
wanted to say
Have a good
hi to
trip.
everybody. And,
Enjoy, Nancy, yeah.
okay,
Bye.
y'all take care. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I've got to leave everybody too, and we're going to be traveling next month, but not to anywhere as exciting. We're going to Columbus, Ohio.
Wait a minute.
Good spot.
Grandson wedding, and I'm
Columbus,
stopping
Ohio.
for a few days in
exciting.
Richmond, so that'll be
What's
fun.
going on in Columbus for you that
Pardon
you're
me?
going? What's going on in Columbus that you're going to?
Grandson's getting married, grandson's in
Oh.
Virginia. So I'm coming early and swinging through Richmond for a few days to visit my brother and sister, so that'll be
Okay.
fun.
Good.
So,
Well, that's
Anyway,
awesome.
see you in
Enjoy
November.
yourself.
Okay, good
Well,
to
your
see
house
you.
is still right
Bye-bye.
next to Donan Mills, Sharon.
Yes, it's there, and I will visit my brother who's living in that house.
Oh,
So,
is he?
yes, it's still in the family. Yeah.
I used to come visit you at that house and we lived over by the old Nettle Creek and you used to come over there.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey,
When my mom got old and we wanted to keep her out of nursing homes, and believe me, every nursing home in the county ought to be glad that we figured out how to do that. My sister stayed there for a while, but then my brother retired, his wife had died, so he just moved up and moved in, and he's been there ever since, so.
Well, wonderful.
Nice.
Well, have a safe trip.
Yes, safe travels.
Yes.
Safe travels.
Enjoy yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Maybe they'll still be crying about Oregon whipping them later today. Oh, I'm sorry.
So is that game still going?
Yeah, 2:38 to go or so.
At the end?
35,
And up by 7.
2.5 minutes to go.
35 left.
And is Oregon still winning?
35-28.
45 Oregon still ahead, yeah.
Close.
Okay.
Okay. What about your game, Jim? What about Notre Dame?
Closer than I thought. 14-6 Notre Dame.
Wow.
My
Yeah,
turn.
Toledo's playing well and Notre Dame's playing poorly, but that's it.
Oh, it's usually the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a story about from the fire. I just have to tell you before I forget about it.
Okay.
Just to tell you the nature, or show you the nature, demonstrate the nature of the people in this rural area. I have a physical therapist. She was a native of this area. Lived right next to where the fire started, one of the big ones. And they had horses. And on that particular day, she was down floating the river. And so she had her bikini on and whatnot. And then somehow they got word to her that, the house, that whole area up there was on fire.
Ooh.
And I think it was her husband, who used to be a firefighter, wildlands firefighter, said, "Hey, you better get home," because they had like 5 horses, one of their own, and then some they were boarding. And so she, jumped in a car with her bikini on, drove up to the house, immediately went and gathered the horses together. She didn't have time to change.
Right.
And basically, she gathered, she had one horse she knew well, but then she had these 5 horses that she didn't know.
Wow.
And had to team those horses up with her own. And so she had to take them up and over from where we are. The mountains start to rise to the north, and so she had to go north and up to an area called the Rendezvous, and the rendezvous's probably 4,000 feet or so.
Wow.
And so she had to get on her horse
Jesus.
and pull these other horses behind her. Here she is on her bikini, in her bikini. And she,
Little uncomfortable.
and she rode them all the way up to there, and then she had to get back. I forget what the story on that, but I mean, so in the paper, about 2 weeks after, the next local paper, there was a cartoon, and I hadn't heard the story behind it at that point, with a woman in a bikini on a horse. Something about the Metal women are tough, or
Wow.
Metal women are strong. So yeah, that's the most unusual fire story I heard.
That
Jim,
is-
was the ski lodge area that was in danger there, was that up in Incline Village?
Where?
Like more like Tahoe area.
The ski lodge that was in trouble with the fire? Got very close. Was that up where Dave Runyon used to live in Incline?
I don't know.
Where who used to live up?
Dave Runyon lived in
I don't
Incline
know.
Village up north.
That
of
whole
Incline.
Tahoe area was in a lot of trouble, but
Yeah.
it did not burn down. I mean, the tourist
Yeah,
area.
I know there was a ski lodge and a golf course right up there by where Dave lived, and I didn't know if that area was where the fire was or not.
All around there, that Cowboy fire, they called it.
Harvey,
Hey,
how
guys,
is it around you?
I
Staying in California.
What is
Well,
our,
other than, the drought's pretty bad here, but the fires we got a little bit of smoke in the Bay Area, but nothing like we had a year ago. So
Right.
we've been pretty lucky from a smoke standpoint. Tahoe was in trouble and stuff, but the tourist areas didn't burn down. But boy,
Right.
all these fires, it's 1 million acres that have burned out here. So it's pretty amazing.
That's incomprehensible, Harvey. You just can't. You can't- you
Yeah.
can't understand 1 million acres.
Yeah, 1 million acres. Wow.
Yeah.
Is it all over now, or is it still burning?
They're still burning, mostly under control, but they'll say
Okay.
it's 30%, it's 50%, but they're burning, and
wow.
there'll be more acres, there'll be more homes, and it's sad. Fortunately, a lot further up north than where we. Because a year ago, it was, the wine country got hit pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not this year, it's further north.
Now, the trouble with those fires up at Tahoe is that they don't really have a early rain or snow season. And that's the thing that is going to put the fire out. And with the drought especially, it's going to be pretty bad.
Where George Davis's ex-wife lives from years ago, she lives up by a place called Etna, California, way up north, and they've been told to evacuate. So far, they haven't done it, but they were told to get out. So we'll see.
Wow.
I'll just stay in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
Can-
sunny and rainy.
Harvey,
Yeah,
where do you live? I'm sorry, are you in LA or are you
no,
up
I'm in Oakland and
Oh,
I still work in San Francisco, but I'm not going in with COVID and everything like that.
right.
So
Yeah.
all Bay Area.
okay, my brother's in Pleasanton,
Yeah.
and
so
that's
that-
why, yeah.
Just half hour from me.
Right. And I just learned that my grandson, who's joined the AmeriCorps, goes next month and he'll be in the Sacramento area.
Ah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it
he stays there for 10 months, but they told him he might actually work on the fires. I don't mean close by at all, but like
Right.
the
Well, they would
backfires.
probably, I bet Sacramento got some smoke because they're only another hour and a half up to Tahoe from there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It gets hot in Sacramento. They get 95, 100-degree weather.
He's used to Vermont. This is a long way for him to come. Yeah, he graduated from high
That's a little
school.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a different life for him for those 10 months for AmeriCorps.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. You folks were talking about the shots and I was going to share with you that the booster, my sister in Georgia got her booster shot. She doesn't have any autoimmune issues. And the other one is the sister-in-law in Wisconsin and she got hers also. So I made calls today. I'm here in Dayton, Ohio. And I too, Christy, had heard September 20th through maybe CompuNet here in the area.
Right.
So, but they really are still talking about the word autoimmune, like if you have cancer or something like where your immune system's being compromised. So it doesn't sound like they're giving them out to us, just like they must have done for Georgia and Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Texas for Nancy.
I think our age would come into play.
Like last time, yeah.
Could be.
Right.
But you said what priority?
What's the
autoimmune
priority?
System, people that have
And
pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
My wife got
heart
hers, but
disease,
she does have an
lung
immune
function,
situation.
Bladder,
so-
that kind of stuff.
and she got hers.
I was gonna say she would probably be able to get
Yeah,
hers.
her doctor kind of wrote a note.
Yeah,
and-
that'll be the determination, however your doctor decides.
Do you have allergies there, Harvey? I remember I was dreaming the other night and I was dreaming of you walking around with a Kleenex box.
I
And all,
I used to.
it was horrible this time of year.
It was horrible for me in Indiana. That was
Oh.
one of the reasons I kind of wanted to get out of the Midwest. But I do not have, I think I outgrew it, Sandy, or I just
Oh.
don't have it out here like that.
Well, that's good.
When I used to have when I had pets, when I had dogs, it would bother me, but I haven't had dogs in years now. So yeah, I'm okay.
That's great.
A lot of breezes here, not as much calm.
Good. That's
Do you
good.
have, Harvey,
So
do
back-
you have-
KTK?
do you have
What-
cat-
No cats.
Okay.
Never a cat guy. No, we had
Okay.
dogs.
Dwayne is really allergic to cats, so.
So is Max. So is Max.
Yeah,
We don't
really.
have a dog. When would our next talk be? When would our next get together be, guys? Does anyone have a date that we can figure
Should
out?
be at that first Saturday in October, right?
Which would be the second, I believe, October 2nd, because, yeah, we're going on a little bus trip from Friday, from Monday to Friday down to Gatlinburg. So, yeah.
I think it could be the 2nd or the 9th, whatever everybody.
Either thought, I just thought I would
I
write it down.
I have it on the calendar as the 2nd
Okay.
via Tommy?
via Tommy, but that's just, I think the
I
original.
think we talked about that last time.
Well, he's really in control, even though he had a lot of trouble giving me control today.
Yes, yes. So you got-
Thank you, Susie.
You were the topic. Thank you.
So the 2nd is when we're going to meet again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if
Okay.
there's something that's changed, but at least we won't miss it. I mean, if it's gonna be changed to the 9th, we'll hear, but if the 2nd sounds fine to me. Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody remember Jean Crisp?
Yes.
I wanted to share that.
She
passed. Yes. She passed away. Yeah, she's my
Oh.
sister-in-law's very, very best friend. You folks
Oh.
remember, some of you knew Carol Campbell.
Yes.
Maybe that was Jean, that did Carol Campbell. She's my sister-in-law and she was just here. And she actually was on her way to go see Jeannie in New York. And
they talked every night for the last 2 years. And Jeannie's just was not well. And she was actually, Jeannie was trying to make a trip to Richmond because that's where her and her husband got married. I'm sorry to butt in. I just happen to know quite a bit about Jeannie.
What's the
Yeah,
name?
Crisp.
What's your name?
Crisp.
Actually recognized her picture in the newspaper before I read the name. She looked exactly
Oh.
the same, except she had white hair, like me.
Right. He was in our.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She came to one of our reunions. She was at one of our reunions recently, the one where we went to the museum, I think.
Oh,
The
that was,
Richmond Museum, which
I know she was at one of the,
Yeah.
yes, at
Mhm.
the reunions.
Yeah.
She was a very, very
Yeah.
sweet lady. Yes.
Very
very-
nice girl.
Yes, yes, she's been in my home once, and because Carol, we were able to coordinate a trip. Her mother was still alive at that time in Richmond, but has since passed away. But her and her husband were on their way here in August to Richmond, I should say, because they were going to celebrate a wedding anniversary. I don't know how many years, but quite a few. Yeah. So, but she didn't make it that long, and she told Carol not to come to the funeral either. Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, they were just really close. And Carol, my sister-in-law, had just lost her husband at the end of her second husband at the end of November. So it's been she's all alone. My sister-in-law had no children, and her parents are gone. She had no brothers or sisters. So I'm so glad she feels comfortable with her sister-in-laws, because my sister from from Georgia came up, and so anyway, it was nice. We had a nice little reunion. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
good to see you guys. I gotta go. Okay, nice to see you all.
Take care,
Good to
Christy.
see you, Christy.
Bye, Christy.
Okay.
I need to go too. I'm low on battery, but I have a CT scan in about an hour and a half. So,
Oh, dear.
So I need to get going.
Good luck with that.
Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Good luck, Carol.
I'll
Bye,
let
Carol.
you see you. Hopefully the next time I see you, I'm a little lighter.
Hurry.
Well,
I hope you are
So
too.
too, Carol.
I hope you are too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
We can certainly end it here if everybody wants to. It's like people are leaving.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We hope they'll be back next.
We hope,
Right.
but we don't have to go to 420. We don't, if you don't want to.
Right.
Want to keep on, we can keep on.
Could anybody share what's Carol's CT scan is about? I maybe.
Oh, it's diverticulitis.
All right, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I
She
know
was
what that
supposed
is.
to
I
have
mean,
surgery last week and they canceled it because
Of COVID.
COVID
Gotcha.
death. And so they canceled her surgery and she's just miserable.
Yeah,
So
she is.
taking antibiotics.
Have they rescheduled the surgery?
No, they said it would be at least 2 weeks, if not more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's,
Yes, and antibiotics just aren't taking care of what
right,
is going on at this point with her.
right. And it's so sad because so many people don't think about others. They're only, my freedom.
Mhm.
They're the ones who are being hospitalized.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you haven't heard that if you have antibodies, you don't need the vaccination?
no, you
Yeah.
still vaccinated.
No.
Yes, you need it.
You know, they told my daughter, now she's a lot younger, in her 40s, 43, that because she had COVID, she did not need to get a shot. So her
That's
doctor-
that's what I was
Everything I've
asking.
Ed said that you still do.
Yeah, I think that's old news. They were saying
old
that
news.
for a while, but not
Real
so
old.
true. Real old.
I just asked her, she just
Wow.
made a trip to her doctor.
You
And
need to
they
see
said,
to the
no.
doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
Yeah.
probably needs a second opinion.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the Delta virus is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
a
is.
whole different-
Sure is, Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, whole different.
We're level 5 here in Wayne County now.
You're what,
You're
Sandy?
Level 5, level 5.
Is that high or low?
That's high.
High, yeah.
High? Okay.
Yeah, we're in the red zone,
On
which
a
is the
base of
highest you can be.
They're canceling a lot of different things, so, yes.
I think it's, that situation is everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, it
Jim,
is.
is this true also with you guys? It seems like the number of cases are higher and higher, but the consequences are not as severe as they were in terms of
Well,
illness or
if
the
you've
death.
had the so-called breakthrough, I mean, if you've had your shots, you don't
Yeah.
die from it.
Thank
If you
you.
haven't had your shot, you
You just
know,
get really sick.
a company I work for, we just had our first death of a guy, he wasn't vaccinated.
Wow.
I have a patient whose daughter was not vaccinated, worked in a hospital, for God's sakes, was not vaccinated, was on a vent for over 2 days, released from the hospital, but currently she is on 24 oxygen and cannot be without it. So
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah,
go.
and my friend lost her brother at 70 years old because he didn't have time to get vaccinated. His
Oh, yeah.
wife got vaccinated, but he died within a week at 70 years old. Just amazing. Just doesn't make sense. And then the fact that it's estranging, in our case, it's estranging our family, those that want to get vaccinated and those that don't. It's just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Well,
I
That's
have
the
no
bad
idea
part.
what the holidays will
Same kind
bring.
of thing here, Karen, just split right in half, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my family too, same
Yeah.
thing. We just can't talk about it.
No,
And the rationale is just mind-boggling. It's just unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the holidays, I can't even figure out what I'm willing to do, truthfully, especially
Right.
since we'll be indoors. Yeah,
Yeah,
live into it one day at a time.
yeah, for sure,
Yes.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Well,
Wow.
Susie and everyone, if all goes well, on October 2nd, I'll actually be in Kansas City for my granddaughter's 7th birthday, assuming I can fly and blah, blah, blah. So I'm wondering if I could mention to Tommy maybe doing the call on October 9th instead of the 2nd.
It's fine with me.
it's
Yeah.
fine with me.
I'll just throw it out there and see.
Ask him, ask him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to override if he said the second, but. yeah,
No,
I'm-
I agree. I agree,
I
me
will- I
either,
will
but I'll
be,
just
I
throw it
promise
out
you
there
that.
with him. This is the family that moved in June. And so I've not seen them since they left, and it's a really big deal, her 7th birthday. So I'd love to be there for that.
That's great.
So it is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. I FaceTimed with her earlier today, and she was trying to show me what she had learned in gymnastics. All I saw was the ceiling and the wall and the refrigerator and a lot of noise in the background. It was a foot occasionally, but anyhow, so I'll get to see that in October as well, which will be good.
Yes, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you think generally we're still willing to make these trips now and go out because we have the flu shot or the shots? I mean, I'm still debating. We're supposed to go on a bus trip to Gatlinburg and everybody had to turn in their COVID cards. So I'm aware that they're all vaccinated, but I still find myself reluctant to be in an enclosed space
I was just
without a
on
mask.
a-
I wear a mask when I go to the grocery store.
Karen, I took my 2 youngest children out west last month, and everybody was vaccinated, but everybody, we wore masks on the bus. It was a motor coach. There were 24 of us, and everybody wore a mask. When we were in the national parks, we had to have masks. When we were just outside walking around the Grand Canyon, you didn't have, but anytime you're inside, you always have a mask. When we're on the bus, only the tour director on, the others really didn't.
Didn't. Okay. Was that with Diamond Tours or anything? Did that, just
No, I was with
curious.
Okay.
So it was great, and there was no problem as far as
Yeah, good.
or not, no problem. So I felt very, very safe.
Thanks. I appreciate that information. I know you travel a lot.
Well,
so-
right, and I have a lot of clients leaving. I just met with somebody today. They're leaving for France on Thursday. And then I have a family of 7 leaving for Spain on Wednesday. And they have all the protocols. We've found out every protocol for every country, and they're all different. And signed up, and they have to apply for passes, and everything is online. And so, no, people are traveling.
Right. Yeah, they are. Our neighbors across the street, I'm actually watering flowers for them. They leave tomorrow and they're flying to Memphis and doing that American Queen riverboat for 100th time. They've done it a lot, but they're going down. It's interesting because they were going from Memphis down to New Orleans, but they had their trip canceled for a while because of Ida. And now the flights are going out of New Orleans. So they are back to that, but there for a while, they were thinking of taking him down to Memphis to Natchez Trace and bringing him back up. But I think the trip is again back on all the way to New Orleans. So we'll see. But, it's kind of iffy down there. They at least weren't spending on an extra few days in New Orleans, which was helpful. They just actually were flying back out the next day. So, but anyway, I know people are traveling, so I guess it must be okay. Yeah.
Well, Karen, I went to a concert last weekend. It was a Billy Joel concert. He wasn't there, but a group. And anyhow, he's like way too old, but.
Did he get paid?
Well, I went to an Elvis concert and he wasn't there.
He wasn't there either. But it was a 2-hour concert and we had masks on the whole time, and we had to show our ID, our vaccination proof card before they would let us in. So I do think at least a lot of places people are paying attention to it.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Like I said, we had to turn ours in when we signed up, make a copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I know that everybody on the bus is, except maybe the driver. I don't know that part, but I would think so.
Yeah.
Did you folks, I got on late, but did you talk about the mandates with Biden in terms of the companies having to have the shots? I don't know, did that get discussed at all?
No.
No, it didn't.
I'm kind of curious. I'm sorry. Somebody just.
The only one that is working at a large company. My company is small, so
It's 100 employees or more.
100 employees or more. I think that the one that throws me the most is that personally, this is just a personal opinion, is the fact that my stepdaughter is a nurse and she's had the virus, but she won't take the shot. And I'm thinking, I go into the hospital for our doctor appointments and all, and I would like to expect that everybody in there has the shot, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
Karen, in the state of Indiana, Karen, 47% of the medical people, doctors and nurses, have COVID shots. 47% of the medical profession in the state.
In our state.
And we make it mandatory here at my facility October 1st.
Okay.
And there's a lady, I started to mention this earlier. There's a lady who is in really high demand now here, and probably Susie over in Indianapolis too. I think she's working the whole state of Indiana. She has a seminar on how to tell you to get a religious exclusion for the shot. It's like $300 or $400 for 2 hours.
Gee.
Here's how you beat getting a shot.
Wow.
Well, I
Super
know
great.
that it's mandatory where I work because we receive federal monies. So
That makes part of the difference, I bet.
we don't have 100 people that work there, but because we are a federally qualified health center and receive federal.
Susie, what would happen if you didn't? Would they fire you?
Yes. Yeah.
So my company,
Harvey,
you
here
have
what
to
they
have,
do at our facility, you go on at our facility, you go on a COVID shot once a week. And then you're terminated after a period of time.
company I work for, if you go in the office, you have to have had the vaccine to go into the office. But the people are happy working at home, so far it hasn't, I don't know. There's a number of people who haven't, but the Bay Area, 80% of the Bay Area is vaccinated.
Wow.
The Bay Area is pretty well shot. Yeah, we still got a
Wow.
lot of COVID, right?
Good.
Yeah, still a lot of
And
COVID.
Washington,
You guys out there, Harvey, have a much higher vaccination percentage, I think, than most of our states that we're in.
Definitely, in the Bay Area especially.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can just trace that right back to, sort of politics, can't you?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, in
because-
Washington State, they're requiring that every teacher be vaccinated, and it gave a certain date. And if they're not vaccinated by that time, then they get terminated.
Well,
Or wait to see when that, how far that goes. When the lawsuits start flying around.
Yes,
Vermont, number one,
They will.
That's, yeah.
It's-
Vermont, number
Yeah,
one,
but
85 plus of the population been vaccinated.
They don't
Yeah.
live near anybody either.
Yeah, that's true.
when I worked for a hospital, I had to have a flu shot.
Yeah,
People were terminated and people were terminated.
really.
If they did not get a flu shot, and there were no lawsuits for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
though about teachers union. I don't know what it is.
Teachers unions, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing.
Susie, I think the
I
IU
I think about the
system,
kindergarten kids that they have to have their shots before they go in for many other things. The
I
little
know,
kindergarten
yeah.
kids.
Susie, I may be wrong on this, but I think the IU system-wide was less than 3 or 4% that have not had their shots now. It'd be all the branches of the university and also the IU med system. I think it's either 3, 4, 5%. It's very, very low that haven't had their shots now.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vaccines are now mandated at the UNC hospital systems, all of them.
Yeah.
And get it or get fired. And it is a big deal. We've had some protests. I don't know where it will end up, but
Right.
We had protests at the school, our school system in Centerville, Karen,
Uh-huh.
are now requiring masks for all the kids. And apparently there was a big, school board meeting last week. Where people were up in arms about
Wow.
wearing a mask, that how inhumane it would be.
Oh, my God.
We had the same thing happen here. We had a school board meeting last week and 50-some parents showed up complaining about the mandatory
Right.
use of masks.
It's a
Right.
grade school half a block from our home, and it's really kind of cute in the morning. I mean, all these kids are in the playground. They're all wearing masks. They do fine.
They do.
It doesn't seem to bother them. They adapt.
I
Yeah.
know.
The
They
younger
do
ones
too.
are better because they think it's fun. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, kids can adapt to almost
they
any-
have different kinds of mask, hats and masks
Yeah.
that match. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's my daughter, she just has the hardest time with adults not doing the masking, which she kind of yell out loud. My sons are in school 8 hours a day with masks on. For 15 minutes, they get to take them off to eat lunch. It's like, you guys should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Adults.
Yeah, you can do it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, adults should be able to do it, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
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 When I flew
Oh.
back from Las Vegas, we had a real early flight, and then with all the delays, we were in a mask from like 5 a.m. until 11 o'clock at night.
Uh,
Yeah.
Got in.
long.
And you're still alive and you're still okay, right?
Yeah.
Still here.
Life goes on.
Mhm.
Complain.
Hey,
Okay.
Diane, Diane, I know we're getting short on time, but with your travel expertise, a friend of ours, 4 of them were all ready to go to Las Vegas, and the one husband, who's 86 years old, had an anxiety attack and in the car on the way to the Cincinnati airport. And she ended up being afraid to take him into the airport for fear he'd be arrested because of the anxiety, I mean, because of the fit he was having. And I guess, she ended up losing all her tickets, all that. And I thought, is there anything you know about getting money back or anything from trips like
Travel
that?
Tickets are always usable.
Sure.
I mean, they can be changed. So I'm sure
Okay.
you probably can have it changed.
I
for
think I'll ask her that. Yeah.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
usually get a year.
And sometimes they have the new rules where you get one free change. You can change
okay.
like one
Yeah.
for
Well,
free.
he has Alzheimer's. I mean, it wasn't just an anxiety attack. He definitely is very late stage Alzheimer's, but they were trying to give him one more. He's been to Las Vegas many a time, and
Well,
they were trying.
but check on that, unless they bought a basic ticket, which
Yeah.
with nothing,
Right.
no
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All the other ticket fares are
Yeah.
refundable.
I'll have to ask her, and plus the hotel and all that stuff. But anyway, just a quick one. I know it's time for us to close out. So
Well, it is
anyway,
for-
I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you for getting to share with you.
Yes,
Good to see
so
you all.
Susie.
everybody has.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay safe, guys.
Good job. Good job,
Yeah.
Susie.
Thanks, Susie.
Thank you, Susie.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Susie, Susie.
Bye.
See, if you're downtown tonight, the governor's mansion has
Yeah.
a Pike High School reunion
Pike.
at the governor's mansion tonight in Indianapolis.
At a Pike High School reunion?
Yeah, he was in my son-in-law's class at Pike High School. And they invited him to come down and set up a big tent at the governor's mansion where their high school reunion is going to be tonight.
Okay, so they have a tent on that lawn often. I used to live around the corner from there, so they have a tent on that lawn.
Well,
often.
they put up a huge one down there tonight. Ride by if you're out and around.
Okay, I'm not very far from there, so maybe I'll just
Check
drive
it
down
out
there.
for me, okay?
You can
I
join the
will.
high school kids, Suze.
Have a good week.
Talk if you
Hey,
like.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.